I have a deep craving for truth. I have a deep craving for finding myself and being more authentic. And this is crazy how much like pain bring into your life light on some stuff you didn't want to see. That is what I'm that is what I'm going through right now. Pain, sadness, being heartbroken. And through that, I'm learning so much. And I'm recording so many hours of audio on my phone, and I just want to repurpose that. I just want that those revelations that I'm learning through pain, they can serve, they can help, they can support, they can show even one person that you're not alone. That's my mission. I just want to create connection. I was craving for connection my whole life, and there is nothing more painful than a breakup. It's a complete uh, disconnection. That's link and love has been like ripped apart. But I never found that much connection with myself, with my shadows, and with my friends and with my family in this time of my life that is very complicated and very painful. And I know it's not like the usual like pep talk, positive, super high vibe kind of talk, but I think I'm craving for the truth. I'm craving for people speaking the fucking truth, and I'm sick and tired of seeing people being like all positive and high vibe and feeling like they get everything in life, because I think then we get into comparing ourselves with what we see on social media, and I'm just craving for the truth. I am craving for the truth. And I know we are so many craving for the truth. And I got to learn that the truth lies within us. It's inside of us. It's here all the time, all the freaking time. It's just that we don't want to see it. And I'm talking for myself, but maybe it will speak to you and maybe it will resonate with some aspect of you as well. That's my wish behind me expressing my truth. And what I would like to share is that I was in a point of my life where I was growing my business that I love. I'm holistic coach, and I help people to basically be more happy. I help people deal with self-limiting beliefs and doing the inner work and growing and rephrasing and reframing their lives so they can be more happy and more fulfilled and more authentic, more themselves, so they can have a better life, better success, being, you know, less afraid of going after their dreams and really create the life that they want, plus removing the stress out of their life, or basically supporting them in their journey to navigate this life into growing into the better version of themselves. And I love what I do. I am in love with my clients. I am in love with doing what I do. It's just a blessing. And I was in that phase of my life where I was growing my business and really finding a routine that really fits me. And I was just like super high vibe, super energy. But there were still a lot of discomfort within me, and I couldn't really see what was going on. I could feel it, but I ignore it. And this is not really myself, what I thought of myself, because I thought of myself being super connected with my emotions and my feelings. Like I started like almost 2 years ago being a yoga teacher, and then an intuitive healer, and then a coach. Actually, it's just like 1 year and a half, something like this. I don't really have a good notion of time, but it doesn't matter at all. My point is that I always thought of myself, I always identify with someone being very smart. And most of my life, I had a lot of moments where I felt like I was smarter than everyone else. I had more knowledge, I had more wisdom, I was more connected to the truth than other people. So this was, a blessing and a curse. Like, it was a blessing because I still do believe I'm a very smart person. Of course, I have a very deep emotional intelligence and interpersonal intelligence as well. And I can read situation, I can read people easily. And this is a curse in the way that then I became very, very hard on myself because I'm like, you should know better. You have 8 years of your life working in this field of spirituality and self discovery and self development and growth and healing and growing and stuff. So you should know better. Because this is true. With my mind, with my intellectual thinking, I know a lot. I read tons of books. I experienced tons of experience that helped me grow and learn and find myself and be closer to my truth. And to be fair, it's crazy how much I changed in my life. Like, I'm thinking about this because I can barely remember how I was before because I'm such a different person and I'm such in a different place that it's hard for me to remember where I was. But let me tell you, a few years ago, I was not connected to my spirituality at all. I was going out, partying, drinking, like lots of alcohol, lots of dates on Tinder, lots of toxic behaviors with my friends, with my partners, with my family. I was very sick, but you couldn't see it. Like, I was super extrovert and super happy to be, alive, and most of the time, and very like in the dynamic of like making people happy, and I had tons of energy, and I always was a giver, and I'm still a giver. I love to give people, so I was always there to listen to people, to support people, to give them joy, to always make jokes, and to always, animate people, like really like bring that fire and that spark into people's life. But I was very disconnected from my truth and from myself. It was very difficult for me to stand up for myself and to speak my truth because I had this deep, deep longing for love. I was craving connection. I was craving acceptance. I was craving love. I was craving to fit in a group of friends that really gets me. And I never quite found it, to be fair. And I think I found it the day I stepped into the office in London. I moved to London at some point in my life. And I step into the office and I see, I'm getting super emotional, but I see those two girls, Alexia and Ariane. Girls, I fucking love you so much. Um, and I'm like, oh my god, all my life I thought I was an alien. And I just found some other aliens. Oh my god, this is amazing. This is so damn powerful and so damn exciting. And I had a lot of strong experience in London, and they really helped me to find my truth. I had deep, deep spiritual awakening. Maybe I will do another episode. This is it. I'm taking the podcast thing very seriously. Like all my friends, because I always send like shitloads of voice message to my friend, and they always I always heard like you really should do podcasts. So this is it. I'm doing podcast. I know I'm getting like on so many projects because I love to multitask and I'm like multi-passionate being. But this feels good and I'm recording so many hours and I want this to serve So, going back to London, where I finally, I don't know, I felt so free. I was myself. I was, being the the person that I was. I was not hiding anymore. I was so connected to myself. I had a lot of free time. Uh, because before that, I've been in a relationship and we were living under the same roof, so I didn't have quite a lot of alone time. But then moving to London alone, um, I had a way more free time, and I organized my days the way I actually wanted, even if I obviously had to work. I had a 9 to 5 job in an office in London, and it was a beautiful experience. And the connection that I was craving, I think I also found it because I was not hiding from those friends that I met there. I was just being myself, and I was finally dressing the way I wanted to dress, and I discovered so many spiritual things. I started doing yoga very seriously every day, going to the gym, and just living my best life. And I was like, this is it, I get it. And then I left and I traveled for 4 months. I went to India for 2 months and to Thailand for 2 more months. And it was one of the most beautiful, crazy experience of my entire life. It was the first time I was traveling by packing, and I chose India as the first destination. Let me tell you, that was that was something. Like, I don't even know what it was, but it changed my perspective about life. It freaked me out. I spent the first week I spent the crying every day, and then I cried a lot in India. It was just, I felt like India took me and shook me and broke me into pieces, and then Thailand was the time for me to rebuild myself. And in Thailand I had the most amazing connection with myself. I felt like for the first time of my life I was being again, like same experience than in London, but even deeper. I felt completely free. I was traveling. We spent a lot of time in those conscious community where I was just doing yoga, ecstatic dance, and reading and meditating every day, and just being very deep in the spiritual journey. Plus, meeting a lot of people who, expanded my perspective about life and what I wanted out of life. Fast forward, um, then I came back to France, and it was very difficult. I was in the south and I needed to finish my studies in a business school that was, quite not aligned with myself. And I especially struggled because I suffered from a lot of bullying in that school. So even though it was many years before, I still associated in my brain like this business school with like all the suffering that I went through in the first year of this school. Um, I lost a bit the thread of my thought as usual. Like, if you should get used to it because it happens a lot. But I think what I wanted to say is that I'm learning right now that growth and healing is not a linear process. And even though I knew it with my mind, even though I knew it for many years, trust me, I knew it and I experience it sometimes, but life always comes back as a reminder of what lessons we need to learn more. And this is it, I was feeling so free and I thought I get it. And right now, same, I was like, oh, this is it, I get it. Like, I'm aligning with my dream job, with my purpose, and then the breakup. And the breakup really was unexpected for me. I didn't see it coming, and it really, really broke me into pieces. And now I'm a bit over 3 weeks into the breakup since my girlfriend left, and it's still a lot of pain, but I'm finding so much healing into recording my voice, and that's why I want to repurpose it. And I found so much healing in the support that I received from my friends and from my family, and especially from the lessons that I'm learning. And one of the lessons that was important for me to share, I wanted to share a little bit of my story and my past, just so that there is more context into what I'm living and who I am for the people who's gonna listen to that story and me talking. And um, the breakup just put light in some aspect of myself that I refuse to see, that I refuse to connect with. Let me explain a little bit better. Whether it was in London or in Thailand, I connected with my heart and my soul. And it was the first time because remember, before that, I was a lot into partying, alcohol, very disconnected from that. I was living in my head and I was living in the outside world. I was always with people, never alone. I couldn't bear to be alone. And I was just following people and numbing myself with food, with alcohol, with drug, with everything. And then I connected with my heart, with my truth, basically, with part of myself that I always wanted to live through that, but I always felt so ashamed to show it to people. I think for a long time I was in a spiritual closet because I was so afraid of people judging me for, people treat me a lot of time of being so naive and so like, um, hippy dippy shit and being just like in my own little world that was just not the reality, that I was disconnected because I was too sensitive or too nice or too dreamy or whatever. And then I found better people to surround myself with, and they were not like at all like you're too sensitive or too compassionate, or no, they gave me space to be who I am and to bring them flowers in the morning in their desk and give them compliment and express how I'm grateful to be alive and to breathe in the morning without making fun of me. and and this is very different from the environment I grew up in and the type of people I was surrounded with. But that's okay, it's part of, and that's part of my truth and my story, and I'm so happy that I get to learn this duality. And again, this breakup is the same lesson. I thought I reach a point where I get a lot of things, that I integrated a lot of lessons, which was not quite the truth, because the pain that came with the person that I love leaving me and going away. I came back home the day I dropped her at the train station, and I tell myself, this is it. I'm gonna heal everything that I haven't healed yet. I need a strategy. I took a sheet of paper and I just wrote everything that was going wrong in our relationship, but not like in our relationship probably, but in myself. Like, what do I recognize? Like, okay, like jealousy, control, attachment, pain, reaction, behaviors, whatever. And I start, putting some arrows and being like, okay, I'm gonna go deep. Like, why is that happening? And like, how can I heal that so fast? And I started listening to all the podcasts that exist on healing from breaking up and stuff. Like, it was literally day one. Like, and the pain just catch me and being like, ain't gonna happen like this. Like, you're not gonna escape it. You're not gonna skip the sadness. You're not gonna skip the pain and the suffering and the grief. Like, you're not gonna skip it. You don't have a strategy for that. And what it did is like it took every bit of control that I had over my life. And I felt powerless and I felt so small. And it was a very humbling lesson, let me tell you. I feel so much more humble and so much more vulnerable right now. And I'm in a good space right now. I feel like recording my voice. I feel a lot of joy doing it. I feel like those lessons and everything that I'm learning, I feel like, it can save the world. Like, I wish people could talk about those things, and people, like, I was listening my whole life to people talking about those things, and it brings me so much support and love in my heart. So I want to give the same, even if it's to help one person, even if it's to help just half of a person, even if it's just to help myself. You know what? Yeah, here we go. Hopefully, you can feel supported in my words. And I'm not telling my story in order to get pity or in order to show off that, I get everything and I learned all the lessons. That's not my point. My point is craving for truth, craving for sharing something that is honest and vulnerable and that is changing. Because I know that now I'm recording that, and maybe in an hour I will be a complete different person. And I know it's very hard for us to accept that everything is always changing and that everything can change so fast, because we get attached to the situation, and we have this sense of control when things seems to be still and not moving and not changing all the time. And changing, moving all the time is very confusing, because we want to have a sense of safety and security and control. And I think really that it's so damn important to accept more that this life on earth is about change, is all the time changing. And the more we hold on to things, the more we hold on to certainty, the more we suffer. And that's where I'm coming, telling you about this breakup and how much it put lights on some aspect of myself, because I got attached to some beliefs and to my identity that I created. I got attached to the fact that I was someone very open minded, very spiritual, very intelligent, very like someone who knew a lot about spirituality, growth, healing, etc. Because this is also my job, that's what I do for a living. So I got very certain about it. So then, when I was having some feelings that were not aligned with that, I was in so much pain, and I really didn't want to see it. I didn't want to accept that human part of me. And that is the lesson that I'm talking about for 3 weeks. Every time I share my voice on social media, every time I share something, I'm always going back to this lesson of, like, we are just human and we should enjoy even the darkest part of ourselves, because I know it, and I say it as well, with clients, because when people, they come to me, of course you get into a coaching because you feel stuck, you feel lost, you want more clarity, you want less stress, you just want to change and to be a better person of yourself. And you can do it by yourself for a long time, but at some point you need some help. You need another perspective. And that's what a coach is there for. And, I have my own coaches, and my coach has some coach, and this is like this because we need that inspiration. We need someone that is like, I don't like to put it that way, but I guess you will understand what I want to say, but that is one step ahead of us. But I don't even think there is, like, because we are all in such different path, and I'm learning that, because I've been pushing my partners, and I'm not talking about just my latest relationship, but all my life I've been pushing my partners, because out of love, out of love, I found those precious lessons and those precious tools. Like, my life is filled with tools that help me to be a better person, that help me to be closer to my truth, that help me to be happy. I was very unhappy. I was very stuck in my life. I was very lost. I was in a lot of pain. I was disconnected from myself. I couldn't create any connection because I was not connected to myself. So I was craving for something on the outside that I actually found when working on the inside. And because I found out of that, and because I transformed myself and my life, like, on the outside, like, I couldn't be more happy of where I am today. I am so damn proud of all those years of transformation. And what I want to bring to people is that same transformation without spending 8 years doing it, because it took me 8 years, and I just want to share some stuff. So everything that I'm sharing on social media and on my coaching session 101, or what I'm creating right now, because I'm creating a beautiful piece of art. It's my heart and soul into one program that is gonna be the best thing that I ever created on this planet. This is so fucking scary, but this is the most exciting thing ever, because this is the 8 years of tools and lessons and everything to help you transform your life in only 12 weeks. This is 8 years in 12 weeks. Isn't it amazing? Okay, going back to what I was sharing, I think that really, 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 this is a process. This is a process of bringing the light into the shadow, but not growing by rejecting those parts of yourself. Because that was it. When I had a feeling of jealousy, I love to use jealousy um, because that's the most vulnerable for me thing to share for me, because I can accept that sometimes I'm judgmental or controlling. It's easier to accept than jealous, because I really identify myself as someone who is not jealous. And the reason for that is two reasons. First of all, the relationship I had before, it was super damn easy to not be jealous. There were almost no exes. There were no other woman around in my partner environment, friend and stuff. So there were no reason like to have any behavior feeling of jealousy in terms of relationship, like being jealous in the romantic relationship. And then I enter another relationship where I had a lot of feeling of jealousy, and this is so vulnerable for me to share it. I can't believe I'm gonna even post this online, and people gonna maybe listen to me talking about being jealous. This is very hard to admit, but it's very liberating as well, because that's my point. I was hiding it, ignoring it, and like pushing it away so I don't even see it, because I was thinking of myself, no, you're this spiritual person and you're so open-minded and you're so loving and caring and compassionate, you cannot feel jealousy. And now my healing journey is just being like, yeah, I do feel jealous. It doesn't mean I am jealous, that it doesn't mean I'm a jealous person. It doesn't have to come part of my identity. And this is also my point, and I think I'm gonna stop quite soon. I'm gonna do many other episodes because I have so many other lessons to share, and maybe I will try to get it a bit more structured so my message go through better. But I'm just new, and I'm a big fan of Brené Brown, and in her first podcast episode she talked about FFT, fucking first time. This is my fucking first time with sharing my message in this format, but I'm so happy I did it because I felt connected to my truth the whole time. I never felt like lying or hiding, and maybe my truth will change, but that's okay. We're just human. And that is, I'm going to end on that. And I will talk more about this, and I'm going to talk more about everything that I mentioned in more depth and more specific and more targeted, so it's very clear. But this is it. We are human, and we don't have to identify as anything else. Like, you don't have to identify as this type of person, not this type of person. And life is complicated. Like, not complicated, sorry. I wanted to say complex, because complex is like, there's so many different dimensions of our being and of ourselves, and this is so damn precious. And if you listen up until this point, know that you are damn precious. You are damn unique and necessary to this planet. You've been brought here to be part of a puzzle, of a beautiful giant puzzle, and you are unique and you have your space in this world, and you don't have to be a certain way to deserve your space here, to deserve to be here, to deserve to be yourself. I'm gonna end on that. It's been 30 minutes of non-editing. I'm not gonna edit those podcasts because I want it to be completely raw, completely, myself, even though it's not perfect. This is also a big lesson, and I think I'm gonna talk about it in the next one. Perfectionism. I wish you a beautiful day. I wish you all the best that I have in my heart, and we connect soon. Let me know. Feel free to reach out to me on any kind of platform, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, whatever. Because I love to chat, I love to connect, and I love to hear from people, that go through the same kind of feelings and emotions and learning their own lesson as well. Much love.